Okay, what's up, guys? So, I just want to welcome everybody for coming. For those who are just joining in on my journey, my name is Chanelle. I'm a digital entrepreneur and a mindset coach. I deliver a lot of content on my social media through pictures and quotes, but I decided that I wanted to create something that's a little bit more hands on and more so like a call to action. So that's why I put this series into play. I always stress about how often that we see these inspirational quotes and posts and captions, and we're always reposting them, we're always liking them, we're always talking about them, but are we actually implementing the things that we're reposting and liking and actually putting it into our daily lifestyle so that we can actually change our life, like a lasting change? So, those of you who are actually here and on this live are actually definitely taking the steps to change your life. And I really, really am so proud of you guys. Even if I don't know you personally, people who are really into just bettering themselves always have a good space in my heart. So, before I jump into everything, I got this really cool deck. I don't know if you guys have read the book, The Universe Has Your Back, but it's a really good book. I started it myself because one of my friends suggested this to me. And she came out with this really cool deck that just is super inspirational and you could just pull something out of it daily. So, hey, Leslie. So, I'm going to pull one right now for us before we go into this. So, it says, Hope is the conduit for miracles. And then it has this like really pretty artwork on it. So, I wanted to just show that to you guys. So, I hope that everyone's having a really, really good day so far, and we're pretty much going to start diving in now. So, we're going to start with part one. So, each chapter, like I said in the intro, or each part has 4 chapters, or excuse me, 5 chapters. That's why we're doing this for 4 weeks. But the first part is recognizing and clearing away old emotional clutter, which is obviously what we want to start with. And the most important thing is starting at the bottom. This section opens up with a really short paragraph, but I want to read it to you guys because it's actually very, very good. So it says, the body and mind act as a personal container through which awareness is either purified and cleansed or muddied and obscured by past sticky emotional debris. In this section, you're going to develop the skill of cleansing your awareness and emptying your container of old and persistent mental wounds and self-inflicted beliefs. To do this is to touch the heart of a profound and life-affirming transformation. Well, I mean, we could pretty much mic drop after that one because that was some real stuff. But what chapter one is going to be about in this clearing away the old clutter is stop writing the emotional elevator. So that opens up with a really good quote too. It says, "Help me to love a slow progression, to have no prejudice that up is better than down or vice versa. Help me enjoy the in between." So I kind of touched on this very vaguely when I did the intro episode about just riding your wave and enjoying the journey and not really focused all the way on, I need to do this now. I need results now. I need this to happen now, because that's just taking us away from just being in the present moment. And we're not going to be able to get anywhere because we're just not satisfied with where we are right now. So keeping a mindset like that is just going to help everything seem like a win. And everything is really a win. Like the highs and the lows and L's are just a learning opportunity. It's not the end of the world. And you can actually really, really benefit from when things don't work out. Yes, the present is a gift. Exactly. So, I mean, things can go our way all the time. We can get a promotion or we get a raise or we got that thing that we always wanted or like our crush liked our pic on IG or something. Like, I don't know, whatever, good things happen, right? And then the elevator goes up. And then things can also not go our way. We can get a ticket because we were 2 minutes over on our meter, or someone ignored your text message today and it got you feeling some type of way, and then the elevator goes down. Awakening is just your ticket off of this elevator ride. So is knowing which buttons to make it move up and which make it move down. So when you grasp that and realize that the true gift is just not caring about these buttons and just breaking free from obsessing over which ones you're pushing all the time. I mean, elevator rides are cool and all, like they're fun, but they can also drag on and be really exhausting. So if you're ready to get off of the elevator ride, Like, this is the gift for transforming emotional rubble from the past. So, like I said, being just like fully awake to everything is going to be your path to peace. So, I thought this was really, really interesting that they talked about. There is a study that was conducted by psychologists at the University of Virginia and at Harvard, and it was actually published in that journal. It's literally called Science. But it indicated that people are just really unwilling to just sit with their thoughts. So they asked a couple of people to just sit alone in a room, like just a basic room for 6 to 15 minutes. And from 1/3 to half of the participants cheated and listened to music, or they used their phone. And then they did a later study because that one was just so interesting to them, like, wow, like people can't really just sit with their thoughts. All right. So they did a later study. So they were placed in a room where they can voluntarily self-administer an electric shock to themselves rather than to be alone with their thoughts. And over half of the people shocked themselves because they just didn't want to sit in a room for 5 or 15 minutes just by themselves thinking and just being with their thoughts. But I think the issue with that is just that people need to really realize, or we all need to. Oh, you saw that one? Yeah, that's crazy to me. I think it's so crazy, but thoughts are not necessarily facts. And most of the time, they're not even close to facts, you guys. We need to realize that sooner or later, because most of the time, we're psyching ourselves out with these thoughts all the time. And it's not even something that's realistic, or it's something that we have to worry about. But thoughts are a natural process, and it means that your brain is working. And that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, you guys. But what isn't helpful is when we habitually just anxiously think these limiting thoughts that actually come from that debris from past emotional wreckage. And it just hijacks your brain from living in your present moment experiences. So rather than going to war with your thoughts by fighting them or being scared of them, you can take a more detached approach, and that's by engaging in mindfulness. So I know we all know about mindfulness, a little bit about it, but it's an inner knowing that a state of sadness is just passing through the mind. We are not sadness, like that's not us, that's not who we are. It's something that's passing through, and it just happens. It's a natural occurrence, and it's just the detached state of awareness and just practicing that mindfulness. We just remain objective to the sadness. So that's not to say that we don't get off balance, but it gives us an overall perspective that we need to just shift back to that balanced state. So I don't know if any of you guys have read The Power of Now. Most of you who have talked to me, I will always, always, always suggest that book. It's by Eckhart Tolle. And in that book, not to go off track onto a whole other book, but it's just very relatable. He talks about sitting back and watching your thoughts. It's like coming outside of yourself as a third party, just detaching from it completely and just evaluating it as an outsider. And that was probably the best thing I could have ever read in a book. It's probably something that I practice the most, is just being a third party outside of myself and observing my thoughts and not identifying with them. Like, I'm a very big evaluator. I'll always analyze things, and I'll be like, okay, well, that really upset me, but why is it that upset me? And I'll really go into detail in my head. Like, I don't know, people think like that I'm mad or something because I'm just sitting there to myself, literally thinking about it. But most of the time that I'm upset with something, it has nothing to do with the present situation. It's something from the past, and it just kind of like ticks something for me. So me being able to separate myself and come outside and look at it, it has been so, so helpful. What book is this? The book that talks about standing outside of yourself and watching your thoughts is The Power Now by Eckhart Tolle. And the book that we're talking about in this whole series is Clearing Emotional Clutter. And this is what it looks like. But yeah, I'm just really glad that I had that preface when I read this book, because the fact that it aligned so instantly just reinforced the tactic that I've been using, and it's just already proven really, really successful for me. But in order for us to wake up, we need to see beyond the hijacker, beyond when our thoughts are trying to rule us and dictate everything. So spatial awareness is our birthright. It's a really, really powerful presence that we have that is free from worry, it's free from guilt, it's free from fear. But like, just take a second to imagine what that would be like. It's like noticing our mental states from a safe distance, like we're not even there. But the author uses this really, really amazing example in the book that I love, and I'm going to start using this with everybody that I talk to and a lot of my clients. But he was talking about if you have this bucket and it's filled with red paint and you just throw it in the air, is the air red now? No, it's still just air. And spacious awareness is just like that. So your thoughts are that splattered paint that doesn't really stick to the air, and it's basically the same thing. Like it definitely comes into play, is in the same environment, but they don't become one. They don't, like, your mind, your thoughts, and your actual identity, they're not one thing. They're just sharing space for a second, and that's all. And I thought that was a really, really good example. But by cultivating spatial awareness, we could slowly detach from limiting filters. So I, me, mine, like all the things, all of that is ego. So it literally loosens your identification to the never ending stream of thoughts that keep you really on edge and also keep you really reactive. So this awareness doesn't do anything. It doesn't add to your experience. It doesn't take away from it either. It's literally just not judging the thoughts or defining who you are because of your mind's content. That's all it is. So awareness simply observes without an agenda other than to let you be aware and present and at peace. So stepping off the elevator is just a process of letting the mind settle down and coming into the body's presence. So in this book and in this series, I'm going to share the lifestyle tools that the author talks about throughout the book, because those are the things that we implement and I implemented when I read this book, and it's helped me so much. And I think this first one is super, super easy. Anyone can do it. If you're taking notes right now, I definitely get ready to write, because I'm about to pretty much wrap the live up after I explain this to you guys. And I think it's going to be really, really beneficial to pair it with today's lesson and just kind of utilize everything that we talked about today. So for this lifestyle tool, it's just finding a natural setting where you're not going to be disturbed for like 5 or 10 minutes. That's it. Like, it could be anything, a park, your backyard, a courtyard that has some trees, like anywhere with grass, anything that just kind of connects you with nature. So you want to see if your mind can just empty itself in the sky, in the clouds. If you could just look up at the branches on a tree and just kind of notice how in that second, like the moment between your thoughts, the I fades. Oh, okay, sorry, I'll slow down so you can get your journal. I just saw that, sorry. But there's a bigger you that's out there without boundaries. And when you're actually grounding yourself and just laying there with nature and just taking a second to observe everything, you kind of get this weight lifted off your shoulders naturally. And then it doesn't matter, like, if there's a lot of stuff that's on your mind while you're doing this exercise. You don't have to wait until you get some things done to do this. It's actually better if you stop in the middle. Like, let's say you're cleaning or something. It's better if you just stop in the middle just to get this done and just free yourself from mental demands for just 5 minutes. Like I said, like 5-10 minutes. You'll notice that your mind's going to be really, really resistant and just sitting there and observing. So as you sit, just observe what your mind does, how it reacts, like comments that are going through your head, things that are distracting you, desires that you have, cravings that you have, things that you're trying to avoid. Your body's going to want to probably go elsewhere, like just intrusive thoughts that are going to try to like erupt while you're trying to do this. But don't fight it. Don't fight anything. Just be like, hey, what up, mind? I see you, like, just be totally okay with it. And just, if you start feeling different emotions, notice what those emotions are and kind of where you sense them in your body. And no matter how often your mind tries to intrude on this, just breathe, exhale slowly, and then just bring your gaze back to nature. Bring it back to the sky, to the clouds, to the trees. And there's not a limit for like how long that you can do this. You could try it on your lunch break for like a minute, or at home in your backyard. Like I said, backyards personally my favorite. I love my backyard. I love my boyfriend's backyard. I just love backyards. I don't know. But after you're done, then you should journal. So there's a couple questions that the author suggests that you guys go back and reflect on. I'm gonna list through them. I know that some of you are trying to write this down, but you can definitely message me after this and I will send you the questions. But some of you guys, if you just want to keep it at the top of your head, just how did your thinking and analyzing just get in the way, like, or just your critical mind, how did that get in the way from what you're doing? And then how did you manage to let those go? How did you manage to like resist it and like get past it? How does like all the stuff I was talking about, the I, the me, the mine, like how often does that alter your daily experiences when you just identify yourself with things? And that's something that you should really deeply reflect on, that I've done a number of journal entries on myself. What was it like to just witness your thoughts as opposed to react to them? So standing back and being that third party, like I said, and just observing them and not freaking out about them as much. And then how would you describe the moments that you're empty of the I viewpoint? And can you recall any other time in your life when you experienced that as well? So you can use this practice all the time to get grounded. When your emotional buttons like the up and down are being pushed, like anytime that you're just like feeling overwhelmed, you can just sit and breathe and like sit outside and really try to focus on things that are greater than the situation and greater than yourself, because we all fall into that trap. Like I do it all the time. Like I really do, even though I'm totally aware of it. Like just because I'm aware of it and I know how to handle it and I have all these practices doesn't mean that I don't go through it and my just mindset is just impervious to like all of these things. Like I experience them too, you guys. So I always just try to be really mindful and just stop myself and do this. But whenever you guys are using any of these lifestyle tools that we're going to talk about throughout this entire series, make sure that you're really, really patient and you use self-compassion, because no one is ever perfect when it comes to learning about the nature of the mind. Like there's a lot to learn, you guys. Like there's a lot to learn about our mindset. There's a lot of things to learn to get past certain things and certain traumas. Like it takes time. This isn't something that we can just do overnight with a snap of our fingers. So really, please be patient with yourself and practice a lot of self-love and self-compassion through this whole process. Remember too that you're not trying to stop your thoughts at all. That's not what it is. Like I always talk about how when I wake up in the morning, I'm really tired. Sometimes I don't want to get up and go to work. Sometimes I want to be lazy all day. But I stop myself and then I start thinking about things that I'm grateful for. And it's not that I ignore these thoughts that I have. I let myself kind of go for a second, like, okay, wow, I'm really tired, but I woke up today and I have a job that I go to and I have a roof over my head, and I just start going in on it. You know what I'm saying? It's just changing the direction. It's not stopping your thoughts at all. It's just not identifying with them and just stepping back, like I said. And I'm going to repeat that over and over and over again. I'm sorry. But also to remember practicing spatial awareness too, that we talked about, and just don't identify with your mental merry-go-round, guys. Don't do it to yourself. But like I said, be really easy on yourself. We're only at the beginning of learning all these mindful practices that we're going to go through. And again, you guys have already taken strides just by being here through this whole live. And I'm really, really proud of you guys all for taking control. Like seriously, it warms my heart. And I'm so thankful that all of you guys are here and just taking these steps and really putting all this stuff into practice. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And tomorrow we're going to be going over chapter 2. So chapter 2 is called interface booking. So I'm going to let you guys kind of sit with that and figure it out and kind of guess what that might be about. But I encourage you guys to take a couple minutes after this and apply the lifestyle tool that we just went over today, and then journal how you feel and answer some of the questions. If you want to share anything with me or ask for a copy of the questions, feel free to shoot me a message. But other than that, I want you guys to enjoy your night. It's Monday. I know Mondays are always a little bit more tiring, but we made it through. We have 4 more days of the work week. So I wish you all well on your journeys. And I hope that you all have a really good night. And I want to thank you guys all for joining again. So, like I said, if you guys have any questions about anything, excuse me, feel free to reach out. I will send you the questions if you want to journal them as well. Please send the questions to me, or is it in the book? The questions are in the book if you have them, but if you want to do this exercise today when we get off, then I can send them to you. Just send me a DM. I follow these steps daily, but I'll definitely read the book and recommend it to a lot of people. Yeah, the book is seriously amazing. And if they even want to just join in on the series while we have it going, they can join in at any time. Like, even if it's late, they could go back and look at the book later and just kind of do this group thing. Thank you so much for doing this series. You're welcome. And I'm really glad that you guys joined in. Again, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me in my DMs. I always answer. But that's all for today. Thank you again, guys, and much, much love. Bye.